And look at people as energy. A lot of times we allow bad energy to surround us because we are best friends. We allow bad energy to surround us because we're cousins. No, don't look at people as the relationship that you have with them or the title. Look at them as energy. A lot of times when you flip that switch and you flip that perspective, you like, oh my gosh, this is why I'm so drained. Oh my gosh, this is why I feel like this. If you're tired of people trying to bring out the old you or trying to take you back from a place that you've already come from, here's how you're gonna stop that. The first step, detach yourself from the idea that you have to have the same relationship that you've always had with them. One thing that gets us is that we have to understand when we grow, when we change, we can't take every piece of us that was there before. So it's not necessarily saying you have to cut off the friendship completely. It's not saying that you have to stop talking to those people completely, but understand maybe somebody was your best friend for 5, 7, 10 years. And right now they can just be your friend. Maybe someone was your friend and then they have to be demoted to acquaintance. But have the understanding that you do not have to have the same relationship with people that you've always had. When people are bringing out a side of you that you don't like, when people are bringing out a part of you that you've tried to get away from those people. And we feel bad because we're like, dang, well, that's my best friend and we usually talk every single day, but then when we talk, she talks about this and she talks about that and I don't want to. Then stop talking to her as much. And also, once you start getting older, it makes more sense. And I feel like people need to understand that, like, this is also a part of growing up. You do grow apart from people, but appreciate the relationship that you've had with them. Like, don't throw all that away and feel like, oh, I can't talk to them and now we have a beef. No, it's no beef. It's no problem. It's just not what it was before because I'm not who I was before. Everyone will bring a part out of you. It's your job to filter out the people who bring the parts out of you that you no longer want to be. You have to understand, everyone is going to bring something out of you. The problem is a lot of times we're surrounded by essentially friends and people who are living in the past. Maybe they haven't grown. Maybe they haven't continued in life mentally, but they have physically. And so for them, they're still living in the past, similar to what I said with the relationship. But you also have to realize if they can bring that bad side of you out of you, then there also can be good out of you. And so that's another thing where you have to be aware of the people that are actually in your life and stop getting so mad at, oh, they're bringing out that side. That's the only side they know. Like, you have to think this new side of you is a new person, and it's new to the point where a lot of people might not even know it. A lot of people might not even believe it, but it's not your job to convince them. It's your job to only be around people that bring out the good in you. And I think that's why it's imperative in this journey for you to stay in places and spaces where you're going to be around people that are going to bring out the good in you. When I'm in the gym, I'm around people who bring out the good in me and they don't even know. But just seeing this girl going to the gym and then getting on the machine after her and seeing how hard she was going, she built like me. How's she doing 100 pounds? I need to work up. You get what I'm saying? Being in a coffee shop to get some work done and I'm surrounded by other people doing work. I might want to leave after being there for a certain amount of time, but then this girl been in here longer than me. And it's not necessarily always a competition, even though I think friendly competitive can be nice, but like everyone brings something out of you. Like, stop getting mad at these people for bringing out a part of you that's always going to be there. Like, it doesn't matter how far you grow in life and how big you become in life and whatever you do, there's still pieces of you that are always there. We saw that happen with Will Smith. He reminded us that night that he's still from Philly. That side of him probably hadn't came out in a while, but when he smacked Chris Rock, yes, he reminded us. And so that's why I said, stay around people that don't bring that side out of you because it's always going to be there. I don't want you to think you ever can specifically get away from it and break it off. There's always remnants of it there, but if you surround yourself with people who don't bring it up and they only nurture and they only pour into the side of you that you want to be, that's how you're gonna be. And look at people as energy. Don't look at it, like I said, as the relationship. Don't even look at people as a mom. Don't look at people as a best friend. Don't look at people as a sister. Look at people as energy. What kind of energy does that person give you? A lot of times we allow bad energy to surround us because we are best friends. We allow bad energy to surround us because we're cousins. No, don't look at people as the relationship that you have with them or the title. Look at them as energy. A lot of times when you flip that switch and you flip that perspective, you like, oh my gosh, this is why I'm so drained. Oh my gosh, this is why I feel like this. I'm surrounded by bad energy. But a lot of time that energy is overlapped by a title, even in relationships. Some of my girlies are in the shackles of the trenches with some of these men because it's like, we've been together for 2 years and we've been together for... Please don't be together for 2 more. Please get rid of him. He's bad energy and you know it. But the thing is, you're covering with the title. Look at people like energy instead of friends. You have to have boundaries on what you are talking about. Because a lot of times too, people cross those boundaries and people bring up things and bring out a side of you that you no longer want to be anymore because you get into that field, you get into that, you get what I'm saying, that conversation. One thing I notice about myself too is I don't want to have any negative conversation. I don't want to have, for the most part, anything that's not positive because I realize people, what they say, hurt people hurt people. Like if you talking about somebody, you probably going through something yourself, because I'm at the point in my life, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I always say that I'm not perfect, but like some of the stuff I used to judge people for, talk about people for, I'm learning myself. And that when you really start experiencing life for yourself and you really start living for yourself, you start seeing how hard life really is. When you live life for social media, when you live life for other people's opinions and stuff like that, when you see somebody trying something new, of course you're going to laugh at them. When you see somebody starting a new service and they're not that good, of course you're going to send it around and be like, oh, she don't know how to do lashes. Oh, she don't know how to do hair. Yeah, and you don't know how to do nothing because all you do is follow everybody else. And taking this leap of faith and this jump into content creation is kind of, I don't talk about people when I see them starting new stuff. I don't talk about people when they're doing embarrassing things. And so I don't even want to have conversations about stuff like that because now I'm coming at it from a standpoint, from a perspective of somebody that's growing and understand how hard it is to grow. But if you are around people who aren't growing, they haven't grown, they still down, I don't want to say down there, but they're still in a different point of their life. They've never experienced doing something for themselves. They never experienced, so you can't even have a conversation to break something down to them, to explain it to them. So I don't. I have boundaries around certain conversations that I have with people because it's just like, first and foremost, there's certain things that you don't even want to talk about. Like I said before, you don't want to bring up out of yourself. But then also, I don't know, this sounds weird, but like, you guys are just on 2 different frequencies and you have to accept that. Like you're on 2 different frequencies right now and certain conversations around things that you want to have conversations about, it just, people aren't ready for that. And I don't want to say not ready because I'm not trying to make it seem like you're better than them, but they're just not at that point in their life. And maybe they'll never get to that point. That's another thing too you have to acknowledge. But I now have boundaries around certain conversations, around certain things, because I realized that Brun got a part of me that I didn't like. Like I don't want to talk about people, or not saying I'm perfect. And don't get me wrong, like I ain't perfect, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's different because I realized it's not fun for me anymore. Or like, not saying, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't ever fun, but it's just not fulfilling some of the conversations that I had before. It gives dull. It gives lackluster. It's not as funny. The joke is not as funny type thing. Like that's just how I've been feeling. So I have boundaries on certain stuff. I don't want to talk about that. And going off of what do you not want to talk about, when you're going to be around people, I think it's also very imperative to prime yourself for conversations, prime yourself for topics, prime yourself for boundaries, similar to how you prime your face before you do your makeup, right? It's the foundation. Your primer is what you put everything on top of. So your primer has to be good. If you want the conversations to be good, prime yourself. So if there's something that, you don't want to bring out an old part of yourself, you're like, yeah, I'm not really drinking anymore. Before you get there, know what you're going to say when someone asks you, do you want to drink? Don't get there and be like, oh, well, I don't really think I'm not drinking tonight. Because when you do the uhs and I don't know, that's how you end up doing what you said you weren't going to do. You're trying to eat healthier. You're going out with your friends. Don't wait until you get there and be like, oh, what am I getting? No, you know you're going, girl. You better go on social media and look up that menu. Okay, so when you get there, somebody can't convince you to eat something unhealthy. Somebody can't convince you to, because you already know down to the dollar about how much your food gonna cost. Because you already primed yourself. And I think that's imperative too. When you are in certain times, you can't really, change certain things, right? Like even going back to what I said, the relationship can't be what it used to be before. Before you probably could go out with certain people and not have to prime yourself and not have to do all this stuff and just be comfortable. But now that you're changing, if you still want to have a relationship with those people or still have experiences with those people, you just got to prime yourself a little bit more. And if that's something you're willing to do, then that's okay. But if it's something that you're not willing to do, then you also have to ask yourself, do you still want to stay around this person? Do you still want to have the relationship with this person? And I'm not saying you have to do that every time. Well, to each his own. I'm not doing that every time, but especially in the beginning when you're changing yourself, or especially when you may be around people that you know don't take no for an answer, or don't, you get what I'm saying? But it goes back to, do you actually care about the relationship that much? And are you putting the relationship before yourself? That's another question that you have to ask yourself, because it's so easy to say, this person brings this out of me, this person brings that out of me, but why are those people even in your life? And that kind of is one of the things I want to mention as well, as far as yourself, you. I think there's and of course, I know you guys are like, of course she said this, but there's a certain level of self-care that you have to have, and you have to start doing, where you're just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like, I say it on so many videos because it's so imperative, but once you actually start pouring into you, once you actually start taking care of you, you don't no longer care too much about what people, you don't even have the time to, honestly, like, you don't even have the time, you don't even have the energy to give energy back to certain things. Like, I've even gotten to the point where there were things before that I would give energy to, that I would, you know, feel like I had to essentially explain myself kind of sort of too, but then it's like, I don't have to do that no more, because I focus so much on me. I really don't care. Like, there's not a winner, there's not a loser in a conversation. You get what I'm saying? I feel like when you don't have self-care, you always feel like, I have to win this argument, I have to win this conversation, I have to win. I let people win every day. I promise you I do. I let people win all the time, make them feel like they're winning, because, and it's not saying I take pity on people, but I guess sometimes I do. I realize that's all some people have. And you know why? Because that's all I had. That's all I had, was that feeling of I won this argument. That's all I had, was the feeling that I won this conversation. I'm smarter than this person. I know more. Now I'm in a point in life where have that, because you probably need it, baby. Have that, because that probably will help you sleep at night. But you know what helps me sleep at night? Magnesium. You know what helps me sleep at night? A warm shower. You know what helps me sleep at night? A good book. I practice levels of self-care so much for myself that I don't need the outside acceptance. I don't need, don't get me wrong, I still want to have friends and people in my life, but like, I don't feel like I need it as much. So I don't give out my energy as much, and equally so, I don't receive energy as much, especially when it's bad energy. Like, I'm all for the good energy, but lately I've just been having to close myself up. That's just the stage in my life I'm in. I've been having to close myself up because I notice certain energies just, they're not vibing with the type of vibe I want to give right now. They ain't going off what I want to get off right now. And it's just like, okay, time to come back a cocoon. We gonna open back up, but just not yet. So I don't know. That's just what I've been going through. But I hope this video was helpful for you. I seen someone recently commented under one of my videos, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually going through that as well. So I think I'll create a video on that. If you like these kind of like sit down videos, or if you want to see my vlogs, or if you like the videos where I use a whiteboard, I actually created a playlist because I know specific kind of people like specific kind of content. So depending on what you like, at the end of the video, you can click on the playlist. But if, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and please subscribe. Tell me anything that you guys learned from here. Tell me if y'all like this video or anything else. I would just appreciate it so much. Any kind of interaction you can do helps me so much. So thank y'all, and have a great one.